Welcome back, grade 12s. Today, we are starting an exciting new journey into probability, one of the most important topics in mathematics. If you have ever wondered how likely it is to win the lottery, or if a soccer team will win their next match, you are already thinking in terms of probability. So let's break it down step by step. What is probability? Probability is the measure of how likely an event is to what? To happen. It's a number between 0 and what? And 1. 0 is a number between 0 and 1. Yes. So, a probability of 0 means it's impossible. A probability of 1 means it's certain. Anything in between shows how likely it is. The closer to 1, the more likely. So, probability has a formula. We can be like P is equal to the number of outcomes, of favorable outcomes, right? Divided by what? By the total number of possibility. Total number of possible, right? Possible outcomes, right? So you can define probability by saying the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of possible what? Outcomes. So the number that you are expecting to get is supposed to be between 0 and 1. So now, let's define some important terms, right? Let's define some important terms. First one is experiment. What is an experiment? An experiment is an action with an uncertain result, like tossing a coin. Obvious. Outcome, the result of an experiment, e.g., getting heads. Sample space, right? All possible outcomes. And sample space, you can denote it as sample 1, 2. Let's say, for example, it's a die, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Why 6? 1 to 6? Because a die have what? 6 possible outcomes when you roll it. An event. Let's go to event now. Event, a set of outcomes, e.g., getting even number on a die. When you roll a die and then you get an even number, those are events. You can divide events into 2. Let's say, for example, into 2, 3. It can be how many events occurring. You can divide those. Let's say, for example, on a die, you can divide an event between even number and what? And odd numbers, and have 2 events, and then you find the probability of those events occurring. Now, let's do an example, right? Let's do an example. What is the probability of an even number when rolling a die? So, like we said, a sample of a die have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A die have 6 possibilities, right? So, what is the probability of getting an even number? Probability of an even number, right? So, we said probability is what? Probability is the number of favorable outcomes divided by the total number of possible outcomes. So, how many even numbers are there in a dice? So let's get an even number. Let's get, let me change the color quickly. Sorry. So how many even numbers? 2 is an even number. 4 is an even number. 6 is an even number. So how many of even numbers on a dice? It's 3. And then how many possibilities? It's 6. 6 possibilities, which is 1 over 2, and then we can write it as 0.5. You understand? This is the probability of getting an even number when you've rolled a dice. Now, you know what probability is and how to calculate it. In the next video, we'll dive into probability rules. Don't forget to like, comment if you have questions, and subscribe to the channel for more grade 12 math content. Thank you.